TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to TGR News.
Shalom, shalom from Israel.
Well, last night we had there was a stage that collapsed in the north where they did their Lag BaOmer celebrations, and 44 dead, 150 wounded. So that just happened. So I figure we might have to talk about that.
This was a Haredim, right?
Yes.
The Hasidics, you know, they paid no attention for the most part for the mask or any other rules. So
yeah, exactly.
It's just a sad thing.
Yeah, it is.
It's a sad thing. Need to pray for the families.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this past Friday night, 36 rockets were shot out of Gaza in 7 hours, and they continued on for the two following nights. They continued shooting. They say it was because of what's going on at the out there in front of Damascus Gate in Jerusalem.
East Jerusalem.
Yeah, East Jerusalem. But it's just an excuse.
Oh, yeah. If it wasn't for this, it'd be something else.
Yeah, absolutely. The IDF gave the Hamas a warning saying that if they didn't completely stop, that they were going to come in on full attack into Gaza. The following night after that was quiet.
Quiet, yeah. Well, that tells you what we talked about last week. What they want is just like Iran's trying to establish a little tick-for-tack war, where they really never get annihilated and we never really get rid of the terrorists, right?
Right, absolutely.
It's a really bad setup. I hope I'm right. I think Israel is just about fed up with that.
And they get ready to stop all that nonsense.
I know if you live down in Sderot or any of the border towns around the Gaza Strip,
you would be fed up with it.
Yeah, you would have a real strong attitude about this.
Yeah, you know, the kids that grow up there, they're just a different type of person when they grow up under that kind of situation. It's really, Well, the violent outbreaks from the Arabs got pretty bad there this week out there in Jerusalem, in East Jerusalem. It became pretty serious. It really did. The Arabs actually said the reason that they were doing it was because the police was showing force there, and if the police just wouldn't show up force, then they wouldn't do it. So the police stopped.
They stopped.
They said, okay, we'll try that out. It lasted for less than an hour?
Had to call the police.
Yeah, they started getting violent, throwing stuff and getting hell. It just goes to show you.
You know, they take a lot of polls in East Jerusalem and on the West Bank, East Judea and Samaria. They take a lot of polls about how many would want to live under the PA or Jordanian law, or back with the Israel, or be under Israel law.
Right.
And a large majority, and all these are confidential polls,
right.
Where they don't have to risk their life by what their answer.
Right.
But then in a large majority, every time they say they would rather be here under an Israeli rule than under any of the Muslim rules, right?
Absolutely.
But that doesn't seem to translate over. It's amazing the controls the evil has over the minds of the younger people who could just be persuaded within just a few moments just to go out and riot and kill.
Yeah, it is. Because what you're saying is true.
When they do that, even they know they're doing it against what they really believe.
What they really want.
Yeah. How do you make peace with people like that?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, there was a video. I'll show you guys a video now as we're talking. It was an Israeli police officer protecting an Arab woman through the chaos as she needed to walk across the street there while they were going through all that stuff. And so, you know, in Israel, we always have those videos that go viral, where videos go all over the internet. This is the video that you should try to get to go viral. Send this video to everyone and everything, showing how the Israelis are not like people like to portray them, right? They're doing all this mess. They're actually helping them.
But it's amazing that the bad press they get for everything and never get any good press for anything.
Never get.
And you know that's this way situation helping the old lady across the street. That's not uncommon.
It's very common.
Very common, and the kids too. The women and the kids. The IDF soldiers are forever doing generous and kind things for them.
Absolutely. So you guys ought to try to get that video to go viral, so get the real message out.
Yeah.
Well, into politics.
4
days. Bibi has starting now 4 days left.
Yeah.
After this 4 days, it's over. His chance is over to make a coalition, and it goes over most likely, not 100%, but most likely to Lapid, or maybe even Bennett. Who knows? You know, your favorite guy, Bennett.
Well, you know, he's losing favor with me considerably, right? But I'm going to tell you something. In private, we talked about this, so I'm going to expose some of our private conversation here. I think Bennett is very right wing. He's not interested in going over to the left, but he's playing a political game with Bibi. He's saying, if you don't do this, I'll do that. If you don't do this, I'll do that. If you do this, I'll do that. You know,
Yeah.
And it's all bluff. It's all politics. It's all bluff. I'm not as great a Bennett fan as I once was. But,
Well, I don't know what else Bennett playing games with. Well, first of all, he's still playing both sides.
Both sides,
Yeah.
but that's the part of the game. That's what I'm talking about.
And I don't know what else Bennett's trying to gain for, because Bibi flat out said, you want to be prime minister, take it. Just make a right-wing government. You'll even first rotation, no games. First rotation. And Bennett still said no. Then went to Lapid.
You know, and if we're talking about the importance of BB or Bennett or Lapid or anyone else right now, Gantz, if we're talking, then we got a whole new platform to establish principles on. But what we're really talking about here is the Israel, the nation of Israel, the people, the Jewish people, the survivors from the Holocaust. We're talking about their survival right here in Israel. Now, and I said all of that to say this. If BB, and I've been a BB fan for ages, right? And I love the guy, but it's time for him to go home. But if BB really wanted to save Israel and not just himself, he would just simply step down from the head of the Likud party. That means he would not be the prime minister, and somebody in the Likud would have to step up. And then Shar and Bennett and everybody else would come together very quickly. But at the expense of BB stepping down. So that's the sacrifice.
That's a good idea, but I think that's an anti-democratic idea. People voted. Now, in Israel, you know, we vote Likud, but let's be honest. Nobody votes Likud. You don't see any Israelis running around town saying, go Likud. They're saying, go Bibi. They vote for the person who represented that party, and 30 seats, the majority of the votes, of the right-wing votes, went to Bibi. And after they voted, I don't think you can take that away from them. I think that's something Bibi should do, absolutely, but before the election, not after.
But this isn't like the United States. We don't vote for a president. We don't vote for a prime minister. We vote for a party.
But
and the party that gets the highest votes usually gets the mandate to form a government.
Right, but who do we vote the party for? The person who represents it. Like I said, you ask any Israeli on the street, did you vote Likud or did you vote Bibi? They will all say Bibi. None of them will say Likud.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
It's right. It's a mindset.
Yeah.
But the fact still remains. We don't vote for individuals for prime minister.
So
here.
I think your idea is a good idea, but only before the elections. But Bibi did one thing better than that. He offered Gideon Sa'ar and Bennett to become prime minister rotation. He would step down, would not even be the prime minister, just as long as there is a right-wing government in this country.
Well, we got about 4 days.
Yep, and then it goes to, it may not go to Lapid. The president may not, because at the very beginning, I don't know if you guys remember.
It's at his discretion.
Yes, he said that he would not. The president actually said this when he gave Bibi the chance to make the coalition. He said that if it doesn't work this time, he won't do a second round with someone else. He'll send it straight back to the Knesset, which means back to an election, to the fifth election. So that could be our only saving point there. It could be.
You know, Israel, for all intent and purposes, already survived the corona thing, but still yet there's still a problem.
Absolutely.
And I'm bringing this up for another election. This whole thing has cost, like it has America and everything else, has cost the economy of Israel a tremendous amount. Elections are very, very expensive.
Expensive, absolutely.
And the fifth election at this point in time, after corona has crippled the economy so badly, it's just that it don't make sense.
Yeah,
it really don't make sense.
The economy really is really bad. That's the real attack from corona. if you ask me.
That's what I'm thinking too. Yeah.
That's the real attack. The corona has just killed countries' economies all over the place, including Israel. You know, it's a real. We haven't even begun, I think, to see how many people are going to end up dying because of corona, and it might not be the corona; it'll be the because of the economy. And
Look what's happening in India right now.
Oh my!
You know, Brazil or France or Germany.
Yeah.
Israel's a shining mountain on top of the hill, right?
Yeah.
Oh, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, we've just about, we don't have to wear a mask anymore, except maybe we go into a store, and I see a lot of people not even doing that.
Do that. Yeah.
Not even doing that. Yeah. But anyway, it's amazing if they didn't ask us. They
No, I haven't
they
been
don't
asked.
ask you for this thing everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
So it's all fiction. It's like what we hear on the news, and then what we live in real life. There is no match.
Yeah, what I think that green card thing was boiled down to one thing. It was the government trying to scare the people into getting the vaccine so they could get over this and try to get back the country back on track.
Yeah.
And because they, like you said, they have never once enforced. I've never been asked for a green card anywhere.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
I think our schools are all open now.
Schools all open.
All of our businesses.
As a matter of fact, the Minister of Education is just now working out all the kinks so that during the summer vacation, the kids will have a whole month less vacation to try to catch up on all the stuff they missed out on Corona.
Kids are going to love that.
Yeah, but I think it's important.
Oh, it's
You know, we
important,
talked
yeah.
about it before. Israel cannot let kids skip a year.
No.
That would make our military, the IDF, 3 years working on 2/3 capacity. That's just, we can't do that.
No.
Kids have to finish school on time
That's
in
right.
this country.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, I'm sure everyone's heard about all this leaking from John Kerry.
Oh my.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I found out. I did not know this.
This is shocking.
Yeah, it really is. I had no idea about it. It was on the Israeli news. Now, let me tell you something about the Israeli news. They don't play around with fake news. They really don't. They're serious, and they don't. You can count on this. This is 100% true. A high-ranking officer of Hezbollah stated, we know that John Kerry leaked out for all the top secret information in Israel. But I'll tell you what I didn't know, and you might not know. John Kerry's daughter, Vanessa Kerry, okay, she's married the head guy in Hezbollah in Hezbollah organization. His son, which is basically number 2 coming up, he's grooming him. He's married to Vanessa Kerry. Vanessa Kerry is married to him, and they live over there.
I'm sure that'll cause people in my generation to remember about the Vietnam War when Kerry came out. He didn't come out with honors at that time either, and he was considered a traitor by many.
Yeah.
But so it's not an unusual thing for Kerry, but I just can't imagine having my daughter do that.
Wow, that's just, I could, when I heard it, I actually had to stop and rewind and listen to it again. And they showed the videos and everything. I was in shock. I couldn't believe it.
Well, if you look around the Biden's cabinet that he has at the White House, and you'll find out Kerry's not standing alone as far as being in that character range, right? He's not standing alone. We got a big problem with the White House.
Oh,
and especially the one sitting in the Oval Office.
absolutely. Yeah. Well, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I want to talk a minute about the ministry. You know what? What we're doing here now with the YouTube thing is something close to Joe's heart. He really likes to do it, and his mother and I like to do it with him. And his wife, and Ola, she loves to do it with him too. And the kids, they love to do it with you too, Joe.
Okay.
But he's doing such a great job. I'm absolutely. I hate to, he's already got a big head, but he's absolutely amazed at how professional he's been able to do this without just, I guess, through Google.
Yeah, just learning through Google.
I guess we can learn anything we want to learn these days. Just go to Google. We have established a lot. We've done a lot of work over the years, spent a lot of money, met a lot of people, made a lot of arrangements, a lot of communications all over the Eastern Mediterranean for the purpose of saving European Jewish lives. For that purpose alone. But there's a lot of other things that goes on all the time. We have families that need help all the time. And this is Joel's big burden. He's been wanting to put a food distribution ministry together. But we know right now, if you want the truth about it, besides maybe it's part of Corona and part of, and I'm taking some blame for I haven't been writing articles like I should. But I've been doing a lot of work. You can believe that.
Yep.
So the thing, what I'm asking you to do, I'm asking you to pray for the real core of this ministry, because everything is coming to the point that it could be any day now that we're called out with the boats to pick up from out on the Cyprus or Turkish coastline or the Greek islands of Kos or Rhodes or who knows, Crete, whatever. We don't know. We got arrangements everywhere. We can make arrangements everywhere.
Yep.
But we can't do anything if the support for this ministry falters. So it's not a one-man show or two-man show or one family show. There's a lot of people involved with us, and we need your help, and we need it now.
Yep. Well, that's one of the main. That's the main reason for the YouTube channel is to get this ministry to reach more people and bring them in. And then, like I always end on every one of our videos, is and I say it now. Don't forget to join us on thegoldenreport.com, because over here on the website you can read more about the ministry and get involved more. Yeah. This is just a way to get more people to get involved.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Amen. Amen.
Okay, so until next week.
Shabbat Shalom.
Bye-bye.